You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Now, for this review, I'm going to warn you right now, there's definitely going to be spoilers. So if you saw last week's episode of Game of Thrones, you'll know that Jon Snow makes his triumphant return. It's not bad having a red witch around. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, I gotta ask you, why the hell not? Anyway, consider yourself spoiled. I warned you. So in honor of Jon Snow's return, today we're going to be taking a look at Jon Snow's 1/6 scale figure by ThreeZero. First, let me say I am really impressed with the packaging here. Now, it's very simple and minimalistic, but sometimes less is more. Now, the front of the box displays Jon Snow's name and indicates that it's in 1/6 scale. But what really impressed me was the Game of Thrones logo. It's actually etched into the box in this kind of monochromatic tone. And the cool thing about it is that if you turn the box just right, when it catches light, it turns to gold. Very impressive. Now, another cool aspect of the packaging, and something that I really didn't take notice of at first, is that it has the entire Night Watch's oath etched into the front of the box, along with the Night Watch sigil. Now, it takes a lot for me to be impressed with the overall packaging of one of these figures, but I have to say, you can actually display this box next to Jon Snow, as we'll see. If you recall from my Samus Lightsuit review, I kept getting emails from the company that the product was being delayed somehow. Unfortunately, that's the same thing that happened with this Jon Snow figure. Overall, this product was delayed approximately 3 months. It got so bad in terms of all the delays that I was actually contemplating canceling the pre-order. But now that I have it in hand, I'm so glad that I didn't cancel. This is a very impressive figure. I really have to say that ThreeZero is really stepping up their game. Now, one of the most important aspects of any figure or statue is the likeness. If they don't get the likeness right, then what's the point, right? Now, in this aspect of this figure, I think they got the head sculpt and the likeness just right. Now, what's most impressive is the subtle details, definitely the eyes and Jon Snow's beard stubble. This meticulous attention to detail was continued in Jon Snow's outfit. Unlike what I've seen in some other figures, this is not sculpted, it's actual fabric. What I find really cool about this piece is the small buttons and the buckles that were used in the overall fabric. This, coupled with the weathering and the small tiny tears in the suit, only adds to the realism of this piece. Similarly, and for anybody who's ever lived in the north where it's very cold, Jon Snow's layered up. Now, Jon Snow's cape is not sculpted either. It's made out of either some kind of cotton or wool. Either way, it's a great touch and it looks absolutely amazing. What's also pretty cool about this cape is that it looks like they dry brushed some snow effects, so it looks like Jon Snow has been dragging his cape in the snow. Very cool. Now, in terms of overall accessories, Jon Snow really doesn't have too many, but he does come with his trusty Valyrian steel sword, Longclaw. And as you can see, he holds it pretty well in hand. I gotta tell you, sometimes figures at this scale really don't have the detail that I'm looking for, but Longclaw was done really well. The sculpt is amazing, and all the weathering was done just right. It looks fantastic, and definitely a welcome accessory for this figure. I also like what they did with the hilt of this sword. It looks like it has some scarring and some battle damage, so it looks like it's been in a couple of battles. Really cool. In terms of additional weaponry, Jon Snow also comes with a trusty dagger. Now, they could have been lazy with this dagger and made it non-removable, but you can actually take it out and put it in Jon Snow's hand so that he can wield 2 weapons. Very, very nice touch. I was also very impressed with Jon Snow's belt. As you can see, that strap is not sculpted. It's actually folded into a knot. Now, it would be a crime if I didn't give a special mention to Jon Snow's sword sheath. It's absolutely amazing. The sheath is incredibly detailed, it's very ornate, and you can see that there are rivets along the entire length of the sheath. It's fantastic. One other thing to mention about the sheath is that because of the manner in which it was painted, it actually looks like it's some form of metal. I'm really glad that ThreeZero took the time to get this just right. Very similar to the Eddard Stark 1/6 scale figure, the boots here are spectacular. They're dirty and grimy, they look all scuffed up. Actually, they look like they've been worn for a very long time. This is a great effect to have. One of the reasons that the boots on figures is very important to me is because sometimes I like to display these figures in dioramas. Now let's say I were to want to display Jon Snow in a wooden area or even in the snow. It's very hard to do when the boots are so clean. It kind of ruins the illusion. Now the two other accessories that Jon Snow comes with is additional hands. Personally, I really don't consider these accessories. I think it's just a given. If you're gonna make 6 scale figures, and definitely at this price point, you should include extra hands. My only complaint about this figure and ThreeZero in general is that it didn't include a base stand, but that's it. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Jon Snow's 1/6 scale figure by ThreeZero. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.